Kent State's homecoming took place this weekend. We'll recap the fun for you coming up.
KSU Theater will be upgrading its performances with new technology. What they are experimenting with coming up.
More than 100,000 gallons of oil spilled into the California Ocean, how it's affecting the environment.
And if you're on the fence of getting a Powerball ticket, you have another chance with more details coming up. All of this and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County, and welcome back to this Monday edition of TV2 News. I'm Maddy Haberberger.
And I'm Gabby Jonas. This weekend as Kent State's homecoming, and for the first time since the pandemic, alumni returned to Kent to celebrate.
That's right, it was a weekend full of fun festivities, and our Marz Anderson joins us now with a recap of Homecoming 2021. Hi, Marz.
An amazing homecoming indeed, Maddy. Golden flashes from all over gather for the fantastic day filled with fun, laughter, and lasting memories, Definitely a success. So many great events took place like the Bowman 5K, Kiss on the K, the Flash Nation tailgate, and the homecoming parade, of course. All 8 Kent State campuses joined in the events, and over 20,000 attendees cheered on the Golden Flashes football team. Jatia Caples and Andrew Pitco were crowned homecoming royalty during halftime, and Kent State took home a win against Bowling Green with a score of 27-20.
I'm really excited. I definitely didn't expect it. There were so many amazing people on court, so I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited. I was just excited to be on the court, so winning is it's awesome.
I honestly am super excited for Andrew and Jatia. They are super deserving, and I was just excited to be on court, and I just felt honored.
If you're looking to recap the amazing day, head over to kent.edu/homecoming/alumni for photos, videos, and a live stream of the parade hosted by TV2's own Maddy Haberberger. For TV2 News on KentWire.com, I'm Marz Anderson.
Thanks, Marz. And for Kent's campus, the Aeronautics and Engineering building is seeing a new remodeling addition of 44,000 square feet. The Timken Foundation decided to donate $1.5 million for the expansion of Kent's only college in the country that combines aeronautics, engineering, and engineering technology. The addition is said to include more space for auditoriums, holding guest speakers, and space for students.
Inside the walls of Kent State School of Theater and Dance, students are experimenting with new spatial audio technology. Abigail Forbes has more on how students and faculty are innovating.
Kent State University sound design senior Bree Leckleichner chose to explore new spatial audio technology for her capstone project.
When I was in my lectures for sound design, I had only ever heard of this being done once at an experimental festival in London. And so the technology is really new.
Her and her team have been utilizing this 3D binaural head that they call Dio to capture sounds.
You can kind of see in his ears the little black spots. So there's one in both ear, and those are little microphones that mimic what a human would hear.
You can have all different people in all different positions, and it's able to take in everything with this hypersensitivity. So really what you're able to do is almost create this 3D-ish like effect that you can imagine the people moving and doing certain actions even if you're not physically seeing it.
Since this is Leckleichner's capstone project, her and her team have had to do all of the fundraising themselves.
We've primarily been doing GoFundMe, so it's all monetary donations and it all goes directly towards the show.
The show they are utilizing this technology for is called Inside the Box. It is a brand new piece that follows the imagination of young Amelia.
The whole story is about returning to your childhood and enacting your imagination. So when the audience sees this original production, there's no visual component to it. And when you can't see anything, you're relying solely on your hearing. And it's just the story involves you and you're in the center of it.
After they finish recording the audio with this technology, the editing process begins.
Post-production work is looking at pulling the tracks into an editing software, cleaning up any extra noise, and cutting together the best takes to create the full vocal track. And then in post-production work, we build all of that space artificially to immerse the audience further in the project.
After all of this is concluded, the final version of this production is set to premiere in spring 2022.
Hello, Portage County. I'm weather anchor Alexa Blakely with TV2, here with today's weather forecast. So today it's a little bit chillier than last week. We have 72 degrees today and it's been really cloudy all day. We have a little bit of a high humidity at 66% and today we have a dew point of 61 degrees. For our hourly forecast for tonight, pretty soon at 8 p.m. we're going to be going down to 65 degrees and it's going to stay about there until midnight. It's going to be cloudy, but we're going to have a low chance of rain. Looking at our temperatures across Ohio today, we're seeing low to mid 70s all across the state. The highest is here in Columbus, and our lowest today is in Steubenville at 72. Zooming in on northeast Ohio, we're seeing similar temperatures, low 70s, but over here in Cleveland, it's a little bit lower at 67. And here we are in Kent at 72. That's all I have for right now, but stay tuned for the statewide radar and this week's 7-week forecast. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Alexa. Kent State students with celiac disease and gluten intolerances are voicing their concerns for food access and cross-contamination in campus dining halls. Over the last year, Kent State Dining closed its gluten-free dining facility in Prentice Hall and phased out gluten-free dining areas in favor of gluten-friendly dining, which students say has left them at high risk for cross-contamination and adverse reactions due to dining hall food. Students for a Democratic Society will lead a march on the K tomorrow in protest against the university's dining services. SDS says that the university has ignored student concerns about better food, better pay, and better working conditions. The march will begin at the Commons by the Victory Bell at noon tomorrow. Be sure to tune in to TV2 News tomorrow at 6 p.m. for full coverage of the march.
The state of Ohio granted $70,000 to Portage County's mental health court to support behavioral health treatments and recovery support services. The DACA will only be offered to those certified with a clinical mental illness with no history of serious or repetitive violent background. The funds will serve recovery needs for patients, transportation, housing, and employment for those who qualify.
Good Morning America is coming to Portage Lakes tomorrow to highlight a group of nearly 100 breast cancer survivors. Akron's Dragon Dream Team will race their dragon boats tomorrow morning to a nationwide audience as part of GMA's coverage for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The team is made up of 88 women who are all breast cancer survivors. You can catch the Dragon Dream Team on Good Morning America tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Women in Cleveland gathered to march for women's rights in Cleveland, details what issues were most important to them.
And the 8th largest Powerball jackpot in history is up for grabs tonight. Find out how you could become the big winner.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Thanks for sticking with us. Thousands gathered in cities across the country this weekend at women's marches to voice their support for the protection of Roe v. Wade. Our Baylee Sweitzer attended the march in Cleveland.
Marches took place in D.C. and cities across the country, with one held in our very own Cleveland, Ohio. The march was to advocate for women's rights, but the key issue here was on abortions.
Protect Roe versus Wade! Protect Roe versus Wade! We're not going to let what happened in Texas come to Ohio!
A Texas law banned abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy, before most people even know that they are pregnant. With the success in Texas, many are worried a similar law will come to Ohio.
I'm not for abortion, but I'm for safe abortion. I had a coat hanger abortion inflicted on me by my mother and uncle when I was 17. The baby died in me but didn't abort for months, and I was septic, went into the hospital, died on the table, but they brought me back.
The way we raise boys now has got to be different. And the way that they look at women has got to be different. Men should not have any say over a woman's right to choose whether or not she wants to have a child.
You know what? Men don't get it.
Many think in order to make real change, more women have to hold office.
Women are choosing to run for Congress and or elected office. And that's exactly what has to happen. Women have got to get into power so we can change things. But
Congress's midterm elections will be on November 8th of 2022, where 1/3 of the Senate and all the House will be elected. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Baylee Sweitzer.
Registration for Ohio's Vax to School drawings began today. The initiative encouraged Ohioans ages 12 to 25 to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Those who have received at least one dose can register to win college and career scholarships. The state will give away a total of $2 million in prizes, comprised of 5 $100,000 scholarships and 150 $10,000 scholarships. Entries can be submitted at ohiovaxtoschool.com and will be announced sometime before the end of the year.
Welcome back, everyone. I know you've been waiting for the rest of your weather forecast, so let's get started. So starting with the forecast for tonight and into tomorrow, we're going to be seeing about 59 degrees. It's going to be partly cloudy skies, and there is a chance of rain overnight. And we will be seeing fog tomorrow morning, so be sure to be careful on your way to class and work. And sunset is coming up soon at 7:06 p.m. Looking at our statewide radar, we have clusters of small storms all over Ohio. This group right here might be reaching us overnight, but everything else should pass right by us. And finally, for your 7-day forecast, we're going to be seeing a high of 76 tomorrow, so a little bit higher than today, and it's going to be cloudy for the next 2 days. And then unfortunately, we're going to be seeing thunderstorms from Thursday all the way through Saturday. But we shouldn't be seeing rain on Sunday or on Monday, but it will be cloudy. That's all I have for today. Tune in next Monday for next week's forecast. I'm Alexa Blakely with TV2. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Alexa. If you're experiencing trouble accessing Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp, you aren't the only one. The 3 apps reported an outage earlier today, according to public statements from the 3 Facebook services. Thousands of reports have been sent to Facebook of inconveniences this morning. Around 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Internet Division Thousands Eyes on Twitter said its tests show that the outage is due to an ongoing DNS failure. Facebook tweeted that they are working diligently to get the apps back up and running as soon as possible.
Miles of beaches in Orange County, California are closed as a massive oil spill miles from the shoreline threatens local wetlands and wildlife. An estimated 126,000 gallons of oil, that's about 3,000 barrels, leaked from a pipeline breach. Divers are inspecting the 17-mile pipeline in hopes of finding the exact location of that leak, and for now, officials say the leak does appear to have stopped. And Congress narrowly avoided a government shutdown this morning as President Biden slams Republicans for blocking efforts to raise or suspend the U.S. borrowing limit. Biden says the GOP is being hypocritical, adding nearly $8 trillion to the U.S. debt during the Trump administration and now refusing to pay for it. Analysts project that if that debt ceiling isn't raised within the next 2 weeks, repercussions for the economy could be severe.
A huge infrastructure proposal given on Thursday continues to be debated in Congress. CNN's Karen Kafia can tell us more.
A flurry of negotiations did not result in a vote on a massive infrastructure proposal Thursday. So Democrats continued discussions among themselves on Friday, signaling optimism.
I am optimistic that we will continue to make progress as we made yesterday.
But not yet bridging the party's gap. House progressives holding firm. They vow they won't vote for a $1 trillion infrastructure bill unless separate legislation that encompasses Biden administration priorities on the social safety net and climate change passes.
I want to make sure that there are no delays, that there are no mix-ups, that there are no mixed understandings about what the deal is.
A $2.1 trillion compromise plan on that larger legislation was circulated Thursday night. It won't pass the Senate without moderate Democrats Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who says his number is $1.5 trillion. The White House has actively worked to sway the two senators.
We feel we've made some progress. Those discussions have continued today, and they're continuing as we speak.
The president traveling to Capitol Hill Friday afternoon in an effort to bring the caucus together.
What we're working toward is unifying a path to get both of these packages done.
But some congressional Democrats say things need to be settled among themselves, not necessarily with President Biden.
A lot of this negotiation has to do with our business here in the House and the Senate.
With internal Democratic negotiations ongoing, they have another important task on the horizon, one that will likely need bipartisan help, raising the nation's debt ceiling by October 18th. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Football had a crazy game against the Bowling Green Falcons this past weekend. Tune into my sports report for more on the game.
I surrender. All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Even though there is so much against us, you will see me wearing a face covering.
And even with my face covered,
you will see me.
As a son.
As a friend to everyone I meet.
As a fighter for change.
As a woman who stands up for what I believe in.
So join me in wearing a face covering.
To help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to bring us all together.
Get strawberries? Okay.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthew Mergen and this is your TV2 Sports Report. We got a lot of sports news, so let's jump right into it. The Kent State football team took on the Bowling Green Falcons this past weekend, and what an exciting homecoming game it was for the Flashes against BG. Kent State football battled in a hard-fought win over Bowling Green. Marquez Cooper dominated for the Flashes, rushing 31 times for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then quarterback Dustin Crum also ran for a total of 93 yards and got a rushing touchdown of his own. The ground game was extremely crucial for Kent, and it proved to be just enough against the Bowling Green team. The Flashes defeated the Falcons with a final score of 27-20 to move to 2-3 on the season. Big win for Kent State. Last night at Foxborough Stadium, Tom Brady returned to play the Patriots for the first time since leaving for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what a moment this was for Brady, a place where he called home for 20 years. He wanted to set the record for the most passing yards of any quarterback in history, passing Drew Brees on a throw to Mike Evans for 22 yards early in the game. Brady would go on to lead his team to the win in his return to Foxborough with a final score of 19-17. Brady surpassed yet another record to add to his Hall of Fame-worthy resume. Sticking with the NFL, the Cleveland Browns took on the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday, and they were looking for their third straight win this season. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings taking on the Browns here in Minnesota. Vikings off to a hot start. Kirk Cousins finds Justin Jefferson in the end zone. The Vikings put up 7 here early in the game, 7-0 Vikings. And then the Browns do try to respond here on the next play, choosing to go for it on 4th down instead of taking 3. And it backfires. The pressure is there. They get to Baker Mayfield and force the turnover on downs. However, the Browns would respond. Baker feeds Kareem Hunt, who barrels his way over the goal line for the touchdown. What a game he had last week for Cleveland. And then the Browns do decide to chance it for 2, and it pays off. Baker on a sweet play action finds a wide open Janovich to take a slight lead 8-7. And then Chase McLaughlin kicks the field goal here, makes it 11-7 Browns at the half. And then McLaughlin says, I'll do one better. Not a doubt in his mind, makes his field goal 53-yarder. Browns up 14-7 here. And then Kirk Cousins, looking for one last shot to tie the game, drops back, rolls left, and the pass rush is there, and it is no good on the last chance. The Browns defense gets the stop. Great win for Cleveland. Browns win with a final score of 14-7 and pick up a huge road win. That's all I have for sports. Once again, I'm Matthew Mergen, and make sure to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. for Sports Corner.
A very unique holiday takes place tomorrow. How you can squeeze the most out of your Tuesday when TV2 returns.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
And if you're feeling lucky, you might want to consider getting a Powerball lottery ticket. Due to no winners being drawn for months, the $685 million jackpot is still up for grabs. The winners are possibly to be drawn once again tonight. Being the 8th largest in U.S. history, the jackpot winners can either select their prize to be an annuity or a lump sum payment. No one has won the grand prize since June 5th.
And if you're feeling blue after homecoming and looking for something new to celebrate, then we've got just the thing. Tomorrow is National Eat Fruit at Work Day. Sounds unconventional, I know, but the holiday was founded to promote the benefits of getting more fruit in your diet. People are encouraged to pack fruit in their lunch, eat it as a snack at their desk, or, get this, even dress up like their favorite fruit at work. You can use the hashtag #FruitAtWorkDay to share your fruity festivities on social media. Now, I would love to check out that hashtag if only my Instagram was working.
That was me this morning. I literally woke up and thought I was the only one.
I was checking it all day. My friend Kane just texted me in the middle of the newscast and said that hers was working.
Oh, wow.
Mine still isn't. I'm kind of jealous.
My Facebook isn't working either.
No.
So, sorry, Mom.
I'll absent-mindedly throughout the day just click on them, and every time I open Instagram, I'm like, come
Maddy.
on. I wish I'd remember. I hope it gets back up soon.
Me too.
Well, that wraps up this Monday edition of TV2 News. As always, thank you so much for spending your Monday evening with us.
For updates on these stories and more, be sure to connect with us on social media, what is up, at Kent Wired, and visit our website, kentwired.com. And to get the day's top stories straight in your email inbox, sign up for Kent Wired's newsletter by clicking the link on our homepage.
Have a wonderful night, Portage County. Have a wonderful Eat Fruit at Work Day tomorrow, and we'll see you next Monday.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's